Hey, Professor. My name's Garrett Garlinger. It's nice to actually be able to see me. I'm going to do the setup stuff for the mic setup, what I normally use for my orchestra. I don't have really, really good stuff like a professional studio, obviously, but I have it all ready, but I'm going to do all the setup right here. And then I couldn't get anyone to sing because of all the COVID stuff, right? I'm in California. But I was asking my family, some of my family, my sister's too embarrassed, so I sing. I've been in choirs, the Ventura College Choir, and all the different groups in that community church group, and more. I've done more stuff with symphony and orchestra though on this stuff. And Rite Aid decided to call me right then, but sorry. I'll do a setup real quick. I'll try to make it fast. Should be real quick. I have it all ready, but here we go. All right. So what I'm using today is I'm going to use a Yeti mic. It's actually my sister's, but it's a $250 microphone. But this is normally what I use. I wish I had better recording equipment for my orchestra and choir, but I actually ended up starting to, in my volunteer group, just do the recording of my group. So I'll do like a recording during our practice, and then I'll do a playback so we can kind of listen to it. But obviously, I'd love to have really nice stuff so I can get really high quality for our sound, but it doesn't always work so good. But anyway, so I will end up doing, if that's okay, I'll do a little bit of singing of a song. We're gonna do a Lord of the Rings stuff. So, and then I'll use my saxophone, which I normally play as my horn, for doing. I'll play one little quick song on that for the instrumental stuff that you wanted. But that should be plenty right there. So then I already have the setup of the gain of what I usually like to use on the microphone here, and the pattern it has on the back. I usually leave that always the same. That's because I've already done this quite a bit. And then I'm actually going to use, you can see back here I have a nice computer, but I usually use for my orchestra, I use this to use Audacity on the laptop to hook it up, because then I can do it on the go. And in fact, a lot of times when we're in the performance, we actually will have I'll have this out on a seat next to me, and right when my leader's like, okay, we're gonna start, I'll go record, and I'll start playing my sax, and playing, and right when we're finished, everyone's quiet for about 2 or 3 seconds, and I stop the recording. So that's the kind of thing we normally do in our group. I'd love to have better recording equipment, but I have this camera, which is my mom's from a long time ago, but it's still a really nice Canon camera, but you know, it's 15 years old. And then I use that to record the performance itself, and then I get a nice recording with this sound from a spot in the church or wherever we're performing or out. You know, it's kind of not good outside usually with something like this, but usually in the church I put it somewhere where you can really catch the sound without it sounding too far away or echoey. Anyway. Alright, so I'm going to use the Audacity program here. See, hopefully, I think I got it where you can see it all good. Alright, and then I have a very long cord, so I can get all the way to the mic wherever we are in the group of the orchestra. In this case, I probably do not need to use the entire cord, so I'm going to just use a small part of the cord, since I only got a foot to go. Alright, and then now, the setup for this is quite easy. I took an audio recording class at Channel Islands University last year, and we learned a lot through my professor there, Craig, who did, we actually did a lot of big setup with like a professional studio and stuff, which was nice. But it's nice to learn how to use a lot of other instrument stuff besides, you know, plugging in a USB cord and doing all the settings. Alrighty. Alright, we got power, not on mute. The simple things, after doing this for many years now, it's the simple things that matter. Like you said we're learning the thing. Alright. Let's make sure that it's on the right microphone. I like to record it in stereo, so it usually sounds better automatically on the Audacity. I know sometimes it's better to do the mono to like do it, and we did a lot of Pro Tools in the school I was at. So but I really like Audacity. It's really simple and simplistic. I like that, even though I've used a lot of the Pro Tools stuff too. Alright, here we go. So it's on the correct mic. Let's just do a real quick test. Yep, we're good. It's working. Alright, so that is set up for recording. And then what we are going to do is, I'm assuming that you wanted this more simple setup stuff like this, so there wasn't anything directly from the directions and the things. So I know that we were talking about when we did the setup layout, stage plan, that like a lot of them you wanted the in-the-ear thing. So I'm going to listen to something, one of my favorite singers who does the Misty Mountains Cold, which is the Far Over the Misty Mountains Cold song. But I'm just going to sing a little bit of it, but I'm going to listen at the same time so it's not totally off because there's no background instruments or anything. But I'm going to do this one first, and then I will do a saxophone thing, which will be real nice. So I need to make sure that that's all set. I know the gain is good. I don't want it too high. I'm pretty close. And then I'm going to slightly lower this. I would do this if I was doing it for an actual singer, make sure it's comfortable for them, where they want it. I did a lot of recording for my sister. She did an audiobook with the last class we were in. She's actually in the class with me, and she wrote a book, and she wanted to make it an audiobook, and she had a lot of people come in where they were doing tests, so I had to do every single one, like this, make sure they're comfortable, and then I had the real equipment though, which was fun to use in the studio, and while they're redoing voice lines over and over, I'm like marking and labeling each one because I don't want any of them to get confused after later. So that's a lot. That was a good experience, but a lot of work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start this up. It has a little intro, and then I'll do a little bit of this. I'm sorry if it's not perfect. I usually like to sing in choirs, but I'll do my best. Increase the gain a little bit. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day, to find our long forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the wind were moaning in the night. The fire was red, its flaming spread, the trees like torches with light. Wind was on the withered heath, in the forest blurred no leaves, the shadow lay in night or day, the dark things silent crept beneath. No. whole song, and it wasn't perfect, but I know for the example for this, you just want to shoot set up and do it with a vocalist. So then at this point, what I would do as the recording engineer is if they sang for me or whatever, I would want an original copy. So usually there's multiple ways, right, to save the project with Pro Tools. I like to say save as, so I can label it. You can also do the export, but I would say for today, this is the name of the song usually. And then the person singing it, well, in case this is me in this case. And then I usually like to date it right in the title, because I don't always trust the way computers date files, because I've learned that from many years of being using the computer in many ways, gaming or doing photos for my family or anything. Things do not get labeled correctly always. The computer likes to label it. If you move it, it might relabel the date when you moved it 3 years later. Like, it's crazy when that happens, so that's not good. So I always label